Are you an Ableton Live 10 user wanting to use the new CV toolkit? Did you know that you needed not only a DC coupled interface, but also floating ring cables? Yeah, I looked all over the internet trying to find cables, but guess what? I found the perfect place. Patchwork Cables. They specialize in custom cables, not only Eurorack modular cables, but also instrument cables, and they use the finest materials available. Just mention Asterix with your order, and you'll get an additional 10% discount. Hi, this is Asterix, and welcome to Wednesday Night Mix. I am working on mixing in the mid-range tonight. So in order for me to practice, I have to create something that's really mid-rangey, and I've created something super mid-rangey that has a lot of mid-range instruments in it, and I am practicing on trying to focus on making it sound better. So in doing so, I have drug out the Tonal Balance Control 2, and I'm looking at my master channel EQ that I use all the time. It's the FabFilter Pro Q3. Sometimes I don't put EQs on everything in my mixes. I don't feel like it's necessary. Sometimes they sound good the way that they are to me, and I'll like tighten them up with the master just to make sure that they still stay that way. And the Tonal Balance Control 2 allows me to be able to determine if I'm going in the right direction, and that is how I've been doing it. Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes the drums need a little extra, like maybe the snare may need a little extra, but most of the things that I'm having to touch are like the sub, because it's just way too loud, or it needs more harmonics. I need to turn it down in the mix so that it's not overriding everything, and that's kind of the case with this track right here. I'm just going to play a little bit of it so you can kind of hear where I'm at right now. Okay, so the recommendations that the Tonal Balance Control is making is that the low mids need to kind of be brought up just a touch, and that's in the 400 to 1000 hertz range. So I like this tool because it allows you to kind of hear what it's saying that can be enhanced. And then with the FabFilter Pro Q3, it has an awesome feature as well. You can isolate those ranges. If you're looking at the bottom, here's the frequency spectrum across the bottom. You can get into those ranges and you can kind of see it. Sometimes will automatically identify those points because it listens to the instruments and where they are in the spectrum. And then you can kind of decide whether you want to enhance it or not. So in that spectrum, I'm just going to play back what's there. So if you're looking at the tonal balance, see how it's going all the way up in the low mids? So I know that I've isolated the right area. Okay, so it looks like everything looks more balanced in this mix. Again, I have real trouble with this particular zone, that mid-range zone. So I'm depending on this tonal balance control to kind of set me in the right on the right course. It looks like I'm okay on this one because the mid highs and the low mids they're okay. But most of the time I'm having to adjust these two ranges because I have issues with hearing them. And then separation of instruments is the other thing. So in this track that I am experimenting with, I think I'm going to move the melody around a little bit. I'm going to have melody 2 going that way, and then the other melody going back this way in the stereo spectrum. Kicks are down the middle. Tops are in the middle. 808 is in the middle. Vox is in the middle. Let's see what that sounds like. Okay, so again, I'm continuing to work towards improving my mid-range understanding. So also in this tonal balance control actually has profiles in here that you can use based upon the type of music that you create. I normally keep it on heavy bass because that's what I'm creating. I'm not, I'm not creating no country music over here. And then I normally like using the broad range, but fine is kind of cool too. Ooh, big dips there. Let me just play back and see what that looks like. Yeah, see? You get a better idea of what's happening. So I can probably bring my high mids down some, which is the hi-hats. Hi-hats are kind of on the crispy. And that's in the 2,000 to 6,000 or 6,000 range. Much better. So again, the tonal balance control is a really good tool for kind of helping you balance out your mixes. I mean, it's not do all, tell all, do all. You're still having to use your ears to determine what sounds good to you, but it sure does help with balancing things out and not totally dependent on your own ears for everything. It's like I've got some noise going on in here somewhere. I've been fighting noise in my chain with this crazy no coast. I bought a new plug for it, and it still seems like I'm getting some noise from somewhere, but this may be from a plug-in. I noticed that some of the plug-ins that I use are kind of on the noisy side. You don't really hear them necessarily. It's like a low range noise, like there it is. So it looks like it's coming from the Hydra. So the Hydra synth has some noise in there. which is kind of interesting. It's like a brand new cable. So I'm gonna have to deal with that. I'll have to figure out where that noise is coming from on the Hydrosynth. Well, that's all I've got. And if you're enjoying the content, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.